Cinnamon Bear.
Now let's see about Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear. We left them in the magic forest, which they got into by walking through a big picture in the Wintergreen Witch's house. Remember how frightened they were when they met Fee-Fo the giant? And remember how nice he turned out to be, and how he took them to the Goody-Goody Grove for an elegant banquet? But they still had to overtake the Crazy Quilt Dragon, who had stolen the silver star again. So they left Fee-Fo and plunged into the forest. And then, all of a sudden, it got pitch dark, and they saw two yellow lights like eyes flashing in the inky blackness.
Ooh, do you suppose it's the witch?
Maybe it's some terrible monster.
Oh, it's so dark, and those awful yellow eyes.
Oh, don't be scared, Judy. I'll take care of you.
What was that?
Gee, I wish I knew.
It's so creepy.
It's some awful monster. That's his breathing.
Look, it's getting light again.
Sure enough. It must have been magic.
And there's my monster.
Why, it's the Crazy Quilt Dragon.
Can you beat that? And here we were scared like everything.
Looks like he's fainted or something. He's all in a heap.
Yes, but his eyes are wide open. That's what we saw in the dark.
Hey, Crazy Quilt, wake up and hear the birdies.
Here, let me try. I'll tweak his nose for him.
Whoa! Where am I?
Never mind where you are. Where's our silver star?
Up to your old tricks again, huh, Crazy
Is
Quilt?
this a dream? Oh.
Now, don't try and pull that stuff. Come on, talk fast. Where's the star?
Star? Oh, I'm so bewildered, Oh, now it all comes back to me. Judy, Jimmy, and Patty Cinnamon, at long last, an end to this nightmare. Is it really you, my friends, or am I still dreaming?
Of course it's us. Who else would it be?
I didn't know. I thought it might be more of the Wintergreen Witch's magic.
Magic?
Yes. Oh, you'll never know what I've been through. Oh, the shame of it all. Oh, agony.
Why don't you stop your infernal moaning and tell us what happened?
Well, to make a short story long, after those pirates sailed away with you, I dashed hither and thither like a mad thing in search of enough corks to make me watertight so I could swim after you.
Did you find them?
Luckily, yes. I stumbled on the requisite 4 barrels of corks, swallowed them hastily, and in I plunged.
And you swam after us all the way?
All the way. A mere nothing, though. By the by, I was backstroke champion last year, you know, and I also hold medals for freestyle swimming, the root beer crawl...
Oh, quit bragging, Crazy Quilt, and get on with your story.
Far be it from me to enumerate my aquatic achievements to an unappreciative audience. Well, anyway, I swam like 10,000 dragons and arrived at the island of Obi in remarkably good time. But when I attempted to land, I was stopped by a wave which I couldn't get through.
Sure, that was the magic wave.
Decidedly. It occupied a great deal of my time, but finally I managed to dive under it and proceeded to the shore. There, to my delight, I saw the silver star reposing on the bosom of a roly-poly policeman.
And then you talked him into giving it to you.
I didn't either. I was just about to engage him in casual conversation when, wham, something indescribable overcame me.
Yeah, You just couldn't resist the star. It was so bright and shiny.
Oh, it was terrible. I wasn't myself at all. Some powerful and evil influence seemed to guide me. A voice kept repeating and repeating in my left ear. That's the blue and orange one, you know. Get the star. Come this way. And so, although I wanted to wait for you, in agony I fought to wait for you. This diabolical force kept pulling me.
Sure, just itchy claws. That's all, itchy claws.
Don't interrupt him, Cinnamon Bear.
And to my utter shame, I succumbed to the voice, got the star by pretending you'd sent me after it, and was drawn like steel to a magnet, up the beach, into a house, through the picture frame, into this magic forest, right to the spot where you found me just now. And then... Oh, I shudder to think of it.
Well, what happened?
The Wintergreen Witch appeared.
Applesauce. The educated owl said she went to the witches' convention.
A trick, a hoax. This ominous, weird thing stood before me, and then I realized it was she who had exercised this horrible power over me, made me steal the star.
Oh, come now, Crazy Quilt, don't blame it on a lady.
She's no lady. And she made me hand over the precious star, and then I think she must have put me in a short trance, because that's all I remember. Oh, agony.
Jiminy crickets.
Poor old Crazy Quilt.
Sounds fishy to me, that's what it does.
Well, you believe me, don't you, Judy?
Of course I do. Didn't you save us from the Inkaboos?
Sure he did. Say, what did the witch look like, Crazy Quilt?
Oh, hideous, horrible, terrifying. She changed colors all the time. Ugly green, then purple, then blood red. And that nightmare of a face. Great rolling eyes, 3 fangs peering through an ugly slit of a mouth, and...
Stop. I don't think I want to hear any more.
Oh, Judy, if you get scared just by hearing Crazy Quilt talk about that old witch, how are you going to be when we meet her face to face?
I don't want to meet her face to face at all.
Well, that's just what we're going to have to do if we want to get our silver star back.
Sure. Gotta meet her face to face. Gotta be very brave.
That's what I say, though somewhat reluctantly.
I guess I can be as brave as the rest of you. But how are we going to find our way back to the place where we came through the picture frame?
Gee willikers, I hadn't thought about that. These woods all look the same. Do you know which way to go, Crazy Quilt?
Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry, or maybe dreadfully happy, that I haven't the slightest idea which way to reach the Wintergreen Witch's house. Remember, I've been in a trance or something.
Huh. I wish you'd go back into your trance and shut the door after you. Well, children, I guess there's nothing left to do but follow our noses. Hope we'll find the place where we came in. Come on, let's go.
Looky! Look what just popped up on the other side of that bush.
Why, it's a yellow rabbit, and he's grinning from ear to ear.
Very friendly looking, too. Perhaps he can direct us. I shall accost him in my best Dragonian manner. Greetings, my little woodland wayfarer, my little relative of the blessed Easter bunnikin. Won't you join us?
Oh, look at him hop right over to us.
And now, who might you be?
I'm called the Rhyming Rabbit, 'cause rhyming is my habit.
Listen to him, Jimmy. He talks just like a poem sounds.
Intriguing no end. Tell me, Rhyming Rabbit, what makes you talk in poetry?
I ate a rhyming dictionary, which made me very literary. I rhyme from break of day till sunset because of all the rhymes I once had.
This is all very interesting, but it doesn't help us find our way out of here. If you're so good at rhyming, Mr. Rabbit, perhaps you can tell us how to get to the Wintergreen Witches?
You want to know which way's the witches? It's hard to tell just way witches.
Oh, come, my little poet laureate. You either know or you don't.
That's what I say. Can you show us how to get back to the picture frame?
I'd be most happy to oblige you. Just follow me and I will guide you.
That's grand, Mr. Rabbit. Come on, everybody.
Yeah, one moment, please. Is that a beautiful beehive over there, or am I dreaming?
It's a beehive, all right. Why?
Next to cinnamon buns, there's nothing like honey.
Oh, come on, Patio Cinnamon. I thought you were in a hurry.
Oh, it won't take a minute for a snack. What's that?
If I'm not mistaken, it's a bumblebee, and he's guarding the hive.
Oh, what's a bumblebee? Out of my way, ruffian.
You better mind your own business.
I am. Honey is my business.
Excuse me for the slight intrusion. You'd better mind your P's and Q's and stay away from bumblebees and listen to a bit of reason.
No mere bee's going to stop me. Honey, here I come. Oh, ow! He got me. That's right, laugh. Oh, somebody get me a mud puddle quick. And as for you, you rhyming rabbit, don't stand there grinning. I suppose you're going to say I told you so. Well, what do you got to say for yourself, Smarty?
You should always let the bumblebee be. You'll never win his friendship, no siree. You may hobnob with a gadfly, though he's more or less a bad fly, but you'd better let the bumblebee be. You can dawdle with a doodlebug or flea. A katydid is charming company. You can visit with a cricket or a cockroach in a thicket, but you'd better let the bumblebee be. Just take a bit of sound advice from me and keep away from his vicinity. You may think you'd have a keen time, but he'd sting you in the meantime, so you'd better let the bumblebee be. Ouch! You better let the bumblebee be.
What a shame. That bumblebee stung the rabbit, and he wasn't doing a thing either.
Water, water, pour on water. He got me where he hadn't oughter. Never trust a bumblebee, 'cause he'll sting you like he stung me.
He's running away.
It serves him right. He laughed when I got stung, didn't he?
But he was going to show us how to get back through the picture frame. What to do now? What to do?
I know. The whistle. The one the giant gave me.
Giant? Oh, I don't like that one little bit. Sounds bad.
Oh, but Fee-Fo's a gentle giant, and he was very nice to us.
Sure. And he gave me this little whistle and said if we ever needed help, just to blow on it 3 times and he'd come a-running.
I'm sure Fee-Fo can help us. Blow the whistle quick, Jimmy.
Okay.
Oh, goodness, Jimmy. That's not loud enough for anyone to hear. Better let me try it. I'm good at wood instruments, you know. Played the tuba in college.
All right, Crazy Quilt. Here it is.
Ah, now watch the old maestro. I place the instrument thus. Inhale. And...
What happened?
Gee willikers. He swallowed the whistle.
Out of the frying pan into the fire. He swallowed it, and as Jimmy says,
This is the limit. What'd you have to go and swallow the whistle for?
couldn't help it. Slip.
Oh, dear. Now we'll just have to walk, and maybe we'll never be able to get out of this old forest.
What's the matter, Crazy Quilt?
He's got the hiccups. And every time he hiccups, it blows the whistle.
Quick, Crazy Quilt. Do it again. That's swell. You blew it 3 times.
Good. Maybe Fee-Fo will come to our rescue.
Bless my stuffing, I can hear him now.
That's enough, Crazy Quilt. Fee-Fo heard you.
Can't stop. It just keeps...
Here I am, my little friends. Just as I said I'd be. But my gracious, you don't have to blow the whistle so many times.
We're not doing it on purpose, Fee-Fo. The Crazy Quilt Dragon's got it caught in his throat.
And every time he hiccups...
It whistles.
Well, well. Ho, 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 ho. I'll fix that. Just a pat on the back.
There it is.
Oh, what an ordeal. Why does everything happen to me?
Because you're always sticking your crazy quilt nose in somebody else's business, that's why.
So this is the Crazy Quilt Dragon you were looking for. And did he give you back your silver star?
No, he didn't, Fee-Fo, 'cause the Wintergreen Witch did something magic to him and made him bring it to her.
Crazy Quilt says she's a terrible old witch. Does she scare you, Fee-Fo?
It all depends on what color she is.
That's right. Didn't you say she changed colors, Crazy Quilt?
Definitely. And you didn't believe me, Smarty. She changed from green to purple to red.
Oh, that's bad. When she's all right, she stays green. But when she gets a notion to practice magic, she goes all sorts of colors.
Well, no matter what color she gets, we've got to find her.
Yes, and that's why we called for you, Fee-Fo. We thought maybe you'd be real nice and take us back to the place where we came through the picture frame. We don't know which way to go.
I'd be glad to, only I'm sorry to see you leave the magic forest. It's awful lonesome here. Maybe you can come back and see me again, huh?
Willikers, I don't see how we can, Fifo, on account of we've got to get our star and get back home before Christmas.
Oh, well, maybe someday you can. All right, everybody. I'll put the dragon on my left shoulder and the rest of you on my right. Up you go.
We're way up in the air again.
My, this is something new for me. My, you are a whopper of a giant, Fifo. Simply a whopper.
Hold tight. Here we go. Here we are, folks. End of the trip.
What, so soon?
Sure, Fifo's no slowpoke. Only takes a few of his big steps to get you someplace in a hurry.
All right, now. Down you go.
Gee, we're right where we came in, too. I can see right through the trees into the Wintergreen Witch's house.
Sure enough. There's the fireplace and all the pots in front of it.
Well, my friends, I wish I were small enough to go through the picture frame with you, but that's impossible. So I'll just have to say goodbye and good luck.
Goodbye, Fifo. We'll never, never forget you.
You bet. And thanks a million.
Goodbye. And I hope the witch stays green.
Goodbye,
Bye, Gentle
Fifo.
Giant.
All right, now, steel yourselves, everybody, and through the picture frame.
Okay, Cinnamon Bear. Here I go.
And me.
And reluctantly, I.
The room is empty. Not a soul here.
Splendid, splendid. Oh,
The
Wintergreen Witch.
Oh.
Right, my pretty dears, right. Thought I wasn't here, eh?
Hold my hand, Jimmy.
Excuse me, but I just remembered I left the water running in the bathtub. I'll see you later.
Me too. Come on, children. Out the door.
It closed itself.
Hurry, back through the picture frame.
Oh, it's nothing but a flat painted picture now.
Oh, trapped, doomed. This is the end.
Jiminy crickets. Look at the witch. She's changing colors.
Green and blue and purple and red.
Sit down, my dainties. Sit down and make yourselves comfortable, because you'll be here a long time. A long, long time.
What are you going to do, Mrs. Witch?
You'll find out. And don't call me Mrs. Witch.
Please, Mrs. Wintergreen, give us our silver star and let us go.
Yes, please give it back.
We've come an awful long ways to get it.
And after all, madam, what does a wonderful sorceress with your great power want with a paltry Christmas tree ornament?
I want it for my magic forest. That's something I've never had before. I'm going to hang it in the sky over the Black Lake.
Well, if we can't have the star, would you mind if we just sort of moseyed along?
No, you don't. I have other plans, my pretties, other plans.
Well, I bet you can't do anything to Judy and me, 'cause we belong to the USA. And I bet you can't magic any American citizens, so there.
Besides, we don't believe in witches anyhow. They're just to scare people on Halloween.
So you don't believe the Wintergreen Witch can magic things, eh? I shall demonstrate. First, I open the door. Now, see how beautiful and clear it is outside?
Indeed, and how I'd like to be outside.
Now I'll close the door. And mumbo, jumbo, hubba dubba, ooh. Now I open the door again.
Gee willikers, look!
It's raining cats and dogs.
There. You've heard of it raining cats and dogs, haven't you?
Yes, Mrs. Wintergreen.
Now you've not only heard, but seen it. Do you still think the Wintergreen Witch can magic things?
Oh, no. You're truly wonderful. But won't you please let us go?
Yes, pretty please. We haven't done anything to you.
No, but I'm going to do something to you.
Oh.
There are several things I need around the house or in the magic forest, and you pretties have come just at the right moment. First, I think I'll change you twins into white mice.
Oh, please don't. Not mice. I don't like them at all.
And this Crazy Quilt Dragon will look beautiful after I've changed him into a pincushion.
Oh, agony.
And as for this funny little bear, he'll make a lovely doormat with welcome on his tummy.
Oh, me poor stuffings.
Now be quiet while I prepare my magic.
Jimmy, if we only had something to make her forget about us and the silver star. Have you got anything she might like?
Gee, I don't think she'd like my knife, and my swell wristwatch is home in my bureau drawer.
I've got it. Maybe she'd like my little looking glass. Mrs. Wintergreen?
Yes, my pretty dear?
I have something much nicer than the silver star for you, and it's ever so much shinier. Look.
Ah! Take it away! Take it away! Don't you know witches can't stand to see their own faces? Take it away!
What a break. Keep on showing it to her, Judy.
No. Take it away. I'll do anything you ask, anything.
All right. First, you've got to let us go.
And promise not to do anything to us after we leave.
Oh, yes. But take that dreadful-looking glass with you.
And you've got to give us back our silver star.
Oh, even that. Here.
Oh, Jimmy, at last we've got it back.
Open the door, witch, and make it snappy.
And foo for you, Mrs. Wintergreen. Come along, children.
Isn't it swell, Judy? We've got the star and everything.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, but we can't stop to admire it now. We got to rush right down to the shore and get back across the root beer ocean. Come on, hurry, everybody.
Do you think you can swim us all the way back, Crazy Quilt?
Absolutely. I'm plenty full of corks to manage it. Climb aboard.
I think I'd better carry the star.
But suppose a wave washes it away or another whale swallows it.
Pardon the suggestion, but I've an ideal place for it. My hind pocket, the one under that big orange patch. It's waterproof and has a zipper.
Okay, Crazy Quilt, unzip.
With pleasure. And in it goes. Zip again. And safe and sound. And hold on, my friends, for it's cheerio and into the root beer ocean.
You sure made good time, Crazy Quilt. Here we are back on the Maybeland mainland.
I can hardly believe it.
We're ever so grateful, Crazy
Oh,
Quilt.
not at all. But now that we're all hunky-dory, I must ask you to excuse me while I sit down and rest a bit from my strenuous swim.
Sure. You've got it coming to you, all right.
Uh-huh. I think this would be a lovely spot right here in the lee of this rock. There. Now I'll just lean back and...
What was that?
Oh, I fear my friends. Oh, I'm blushing red. Well, behold the star.
Willikers, it's busted.
In a dozen pieces.
And you can just imagine what Judy has to say.
Oh, dear. We might just as well never have found the silver star as to have it broken.
Gee willikers, yes. Especially after all the things we did to get it back.
If you had to sit down, Crazy Quilt, why pick a rock to sit on?
Oh, I am abject. I'm speechless, but I beg you to realize that my mistake was unintentional.
Well, we know you didn't mean to do it. But gee, Crazy Quilt, couldn't you have used your head a little bit?
Well,
Don't go picking on poor Crazy Quilt. Of course he didn't mean to break the star, but making him feel bad isn't going to do any good. Oh, dear. We might just as well have Patio Cinnamon take us back to the attic again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Goodbye, Crazy Quilt. Thanks anyway for saving us from the Inkaboos and carrying us across the root beer ocean.
Yes, thanks for that, Crazy Quilt. You're a good dragon at heart.
How are we going to get back to the attic, Cinnamon Bear? The airplane is still at the bottom of Looking Glass Valley.
Maybe when Crazy Quilt has rested a little, he'll carry us a piece.
Oh, gladly. Anything to help atone for my frightful carelessness. Anything to... Wait.
What is it, Crazy Quilt? Have you got a pain?
A pain? No, I've a plan.
That's generally the same thing with you.
There's something that might be done yet.
Sure, and you've done everything that can be done, Crazy Quilt. You and your nonsense.
Just a minute, my feisty friend in the fur pajamas. Let me say my say.
Very well. What's on your alleged mind?
Why don't we go and see Melissa?
Splendid! Now, why didn't I think of that?
Who's Melissa?
Haven't you heard of her? Why, she's our queen, the ruler of Maybeland.
What could she do?
What can't she do, you mean? She's wonderful, so kind and generous. Everybody loves her.
That's swell. But what could she do about the Silver Star?
Anything, everything. She has wonderful powers. Nothing is impossible to her. Why, do you know once upon a time I had the great misfortune to fall into a lemonade wishing well, and all my beautiful colors ran together.
I'd sure like to have seen you then.
I shall overlook your remark. Oh, I was a mess. I thought surely I'd never be able to hold up my head in society. But I went to Melissa, and she restored me to my natural beauty and splendor.
She certainly has a marvelous reputation, all right. I've always intended to go to court sometime and see her for myself, but I never quite got around to it.
Oh, goody. Maybe she can help us. Where does Melissa live?
Oh, she lives in her palace in the capital of Maybeland. That's capital M. A bit southish of the Lollipop Mountains, right in the middle of Marshmallow Meadows.
Maybe she'll know some way to have the star all put together again.
I'm sure she will. Will you take us there, Crazy Quilt?
Certainly. I'm quite as good on land as on water.
Everybody help me pick up the pieces of the star. Jimmy, let me have your hanky. It's bigger than mine.
Okay. Here it is.
Ah, here are some pieces.
Yeah, and here are some more.
I think Jimmy and I have all the rest. Hold out your hanky, Jimmy.
Okay.
There.
All right, now, let's get started. Climb on, everybody.
Up you go, Judy. Up, Jimmy. Well, we're on. Outdo yourself, Crazy Quilt. Gallop of you's never galloped before.
This is the anteroom to the Queen's audience chamber. We'll have to wait here until time for us to see the Grand Wonky.
My goodness. How many more do we have to see before we get to see Melissa?
Yes, I never saw so many, whatchamacallums?
Secretaries.
Yes, things like that.
Oh, but you must remember, this is a royal court. You have to expect such things. After all, Melissa is the Queen, and she's much too busy to bother with people unless they have really important business with her.
Who'd you say we had to see now?
The Grand Wonky. He's sort of head of all the ceremonies and presents everybody to Melissa.
I wish he'd hurry. My stuffing's getting very tired.
Oh, I don't mind waiting so much. It's so beautiful. I like to look down that big staircase and see all the people passing up and down.
Oh, here you are, here you are. So sorry to keep you waiting, but you know how it is, so much busy. Dear, 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 dear. Oh, you're not in court costume.
What's that?
It's what you wear when you come to see Melissa.
Well, never mind. It can't be helped now. I'll ask her to overlook the attire, inasmuch as you are unacquainted with court etiquette.
What does he mean?
He means that he's going to ask Melissa to skip it.
Oh, dear, 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 dear. Now let's see how will we arrange this. You're the Crazy Quilt Dragon, are you not? I'm sure I've seen you before. I'm very good at remembering places. I mean faces. That's my job. Now, where were we? Awfully nice of you to drop in and all that. Must come again sometime.
I'm Judy.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm the Cinnamon Bear.
That's us, and we're very anxious to see Melissa. Is there anything special we have to do?
Oh, dear, 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 yes. The bow, you know, the bow. So.
I feel awfully silly doing that.
You don't have to. Just be polite, and that's all that's necessary.
And of course, I must announce you. Now let's see. What formation would look best? Let me see. The little girl first. Yes. Then I think the boy slightly behind her with the bear. Then the Crazy Quilt Dragon bringing up the rear guard.
Bringing up what? Does he have to carry something?
No. He's to stand behind you.
Well, why didn't you say that in the first place?
I dislike hurrying you, Grand Wonky, but our time is short and our business very important. Now, you just sort of forget a few formalities and announce us to Her Majesty like a good Wonky.
I think everything is in order. Do you mind if I adjust your green bow, little bear?
I'd thank you to keep your hands off me bow, and my name is Patio Cinnamon, if you please.
Yes, of course. Now, I think we may enter now.
It's about time.
Ouvrez la porte!
What's that mean, that, ouvre, well, what you just said?
Well, that's French for open the door.
Well, why didn't you just say open the door instead of that French stuff?
Because this happens to be a French door and won't open unless you speak French. So there. Ouvre la porte! My, those hinges need oiling dreadfully. Must make a note about that. See about oil for hinges. Now, are we all hunky-bunky?
Yes, Wunky.
Dudley, the fanfare. Oh, thank you, Dudley. That was lovely. Thank you. Now, friends, you may enter the presence of Queen Melissa of Maybeland.
Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Isn't she beautiful, Jimmy?
You bet. Why, she's nearly as pretty as Mother, I'd say.
Look at her throne. It's all shiny.
All gold, children. 18 carats, solid gold.
It looks like there's something shiny all about her, too. It must be more magic.
It is. That protects her from anything touching her. Nothing could get close enough to hurt her.
I sure never saw anything like this before.
Will you please come closer?
Her Majesty desires you to approach. Be sure you don't go too close, however. Your Majesty, may I present Miss Judy?
How do you do?
Fine, thanks, but we...
Mr. Jimmy.
I'm so happy to see you.
And we're glad to see you.
And this is...
The Crazy Quilt Dragon, of course. How are you?
Oh, very well, Your Majesty. Thank you.
And last but not least...
Well, who is this fuzzy little person with the green ribbon round his neck? Who are you, little friend?
I'm the cinnamon bear with the shoe button eyes, and I'm helping these children recover a prize. It's a silvery star that was fashioned, you see, for the very tip-top of a big Christmas tree. Though we've hunted low and we've hunted high, we cannot get it back, no matter how we try. A most crazy quilt dragon made off with it first, then a whale ate it up, but that isn't the worst. Oh, it's been through 100 adventures since then. We just lose it and find it and lose it again. So we've looked and looked till we're almost blue. And if you'll help us out, we're much obliged to you.
So you see, Your Majesty?
Call me Melissa, won't you? We're all going to be friends, and friends shouldn't be too formal.
That suits me. All this wonky business about bowing and everything.
I know how you feel, Jimmy, but I must give the Grand Wunky something to do. He'd feel very unhappy otherwise.
Well, you see, Melissa, the Cinnamon Bear told you part about what happened to our lovely silver star, but lots of things happened to it after that.
And the last thing was, the Wintergreen Witch cast a spell on me and forced me to steal the star and take it to her.
The Wintergreen Witch? Grand Wunky, make a note that I must take up the case of the Wintergreen Witch at my next council meeting. She's been practicing magic without a license.
Oh, dear me, yes, Your Majesty. Fix witch. Good and proper.
She was going to change us into things. Then I showed her a looking glass, and she got awful scared and let us go.
And Crazy Quilt took us across the root beer ocean, but
he sat down on the star and broke it into a dozen pieces.
So we thought maybe you could help us get it fixed.
Of course I can help you.
You can? Oh, that's wonderful.
Now you just listen very carefully to everything I say, and your silver star will be restored.
Well, that's quite the best news Judy and Jimmy have had since they started out on their adventurous trip through Maybeland. Interesting.
You mean you can fix it so our silver star will be all together again and won't be broken like it is now?
That's exactly what I mean, Judy.
Jiminy crickets. And will we be able to put it on our Christmas tree just like we used to?
On the very tip-top, Jimmy, and no one will ever know it was the very least bit broken.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
Now, I will have to write a few simple instructions for you to follow. Grand Wunky, will you please get me my magic ink?
Yes, Your Majesty.
We're awfully grateful, Melissa. We were just about to give up and go home.
You bet. And after all the things we did to get the star, too.
Here's the magic ink, Your Majesty.
Thank you, Grand Wunky. And now I will write down the instructions for you to follow. There. Now, I've put the instructions inside this envelope, Jimmy, and you must follow them exactly.
Oh, goody. Let's see what we have to do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judy, but you mustn't open it here.
Well, why?
Because that would keep the magic from working. You see, restoring the silver star is going to take a special kind of magic. If it had been made in Maybeland, it would be simple, but unfortunately it was made in the world, and that's another matter. It will need quite a little extra work.
Will it be hard to do?
No, not hard, but you must do exactly as they say. And unfortunately, you can only read these instructions in total darkness.
But, Your Majesty, where can we find this absolute darkness?
Ah, that is a part of the magic that you must do for yourselves. But don't worry, friends. I know it will work out all right.
Gee, Melissa, I don't know how we'll ever be able to thank you.
It'll just make Christmas perfect, Melissa.
Allow me to express my deepest thanks, Melissa, for past favors and present courtesy. I bow.
I'm not fancy, Melissa, but I'm much obliged to you.
And you are all quite welcome, dear friends. I hope you will visit me again after the silver star has been restored to its original beauty.
We'd sure like to, all right, Melissa.
Then do so. And now, Grand Wunky, would you please set our friends on their way? I would be happy to entertain you in my palace for a while, but I know you're anxious to see your star mended and safe.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks so much, but we do have to hurry, kinda.
Yes, we've got to get it back before Christmas.
Well, goodbye then, and good luck.
Goodbye, Your Majesty.
Will you please follow me, single file, if you please, in the order in which you came in?
By the way, Wunky old thing, could you drop us some slight hint as to where we might find this absolute darkness of which Melissa spoke?
I couldn't hint. It's ever so rude, but my duties as Grand Wunky to Melissa's court keep me quite confined. I don't know a great deal about the country of Maybeland at all, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, dear.
But I have heard. Now, mark you, this is only a rumor. I cannot verify it in any way. I have heard that the Wishing Woods are very dark. Extremely dark, in fact.
Do you happen to know the way to the Wishing Woods?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm happy to say. I got a good many travel folders on it before I went on my vacation. But Mrs. Wunky decided she'd rather go to the root beer seashore. And such a lovely time we had, too. Took a small cottage.
Yes.
Dear, now, where was I?
You were going to tell us how to get to the Wishing Woods.
Oh, yeah, so I was. Well, it won't take you very long, not at all. They're directly north of the Marshmallow Meadows as the crow doesn't fly.
Thanks, Wunky. Much obliged for the assistance.
No, don't ever mention it. Just pop along down the marble staircase and straight ahead and... Dear. Almost forgot something. Here, this box is for you to take along with you.
What's in it, Wunky? Some more magic?
Oh, you'll find out when the time comes. And, here's the door. My, I must see about oiling those hinges, mustn't I? Such a racket they make. Well, I've got to be zipping now. Charming of you to drop in. Dudley, fetch the oil can like a good fellow.
What a character. You'd never know he was around.
I thought he was sort of sweet, Crazy Quilt.
Just a windbag, that's all. Well, we better get started, hadn't we?
You bet. The sooner we get where we can read those magical instructions, the better I'll like it. Come on, everybody. Let's find the Wishing Woods. I wonder if this is the Wishing Woods.
Oh, I'm sure it is. There's a sign over there that says Wishing Wood.
Oh, I'm so glad. Look, there's another sign. What does it say?
Wait a minute. It's printed a bit smaller. Oh, S.S. Crocodile-esque.
What does that esque mean?
I expect it means to esque, S.S. Crocodile.
Oh, I guess he spells like me.
Have you still got the broken pieces of the silver star in your hanky, Jimmy?
Yep, safe and sound.
Well, you have Melissa's instructions, too, so I think I better carry your hanky for you.
All right. Here it is.
And now, shall we follow this little path? Seems to be as good as any. Maybe this crocodile person can give us some idea as to where it is totally dark in the Wishing Woods.
He might at that.
Cinnamon there, did you look in that box that the Grand Wunky gave you when we left the palace?
No, why?
I was just awful curious, that's all.
Well, there's no special orders about opening this, so here goes. Bless my stuffing cinnamon buns.
Let me see. Oh, Jimmy, peanut butter sandwiches and apple pie?
And lollipops, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, boy. This is swell.
Oh, here's a note. My dear friends, I hope you will enjoy your picnic lunch in the Wishing Woods. When you have finished, tie up the box again, and the next time you are hungry, open it, and you will find another lunch. Love, Melissa.
Gee, Melissa sure's a peach, all right.
Well, far be it from me to call our gracious ruler by such a name, but she surely is kind and thoughtful.
Yummy. Such cinnamon buns. Chock full of currants, too.
My, I didn't know I was hungry, but I certainly was.
Delicious. I'll tie up the box just like she said.
Well, shall we be moving? Oh, I say, look ahead, down the path a bit.
My goodness, it's a bathtub.
Yeah, and it's a big white one just like we have at home.
What a strange place for a bathtub.
What's that funny noise?
It's coming from the bathtub.
Why, so it is. There must be something in it.
Hello!
Bless my stuffing, it's a crocodile.
It must be the one on the sign. SS Crocodile-esque.
Welcome to the Wishing Woods. Who am I? I can see it by the look in your eye. Ha ha! Why, I'm Snappersnick. Of course, and very pleased to meet you. By the way, who are you?
I'm Judy, Mr. What did you say your name was?
Snappersnick, little girl. And who are the rest of you?
I'm Jimmy.
Patio Cinnamon, the cinnamon bear.
I'm the Crazy Quilt Dragon.
Well. So kind of you to come all this way to see me.
But
I'm very glad you came today. There hasn't been a single person, and I was beginning to feel quite lonesome.
Well, you see...
Of course, I'm very comfortable with my bath, like my tub. Quite an acquisition it was, very. I got it when they redecorated the royal bath last spring. Genuine porcelain with chromium taps.
It's very nice, but
you say one can't spend all one's time in the bath. Ha ha! That's because you've never thought of the bath in all its possibilities.
You are quite right,
Have you ever noticed the wonderful acoustics in a bathtub? Of course you haven't. Have you ever thought of a bathtub singing as a fine art? Again, you have not. But Snappersnick has. Oh, yes, indeed. That is why I've remained a hermit, as it were, in the midst of the Wishing Woods, perfecting my art until it can be heard in all its glory by the listening world. The first bathtub singer to be heard on the air. What a sensation! The bathtub baritone, Snappersnick, the crooning crocodile.
But we didn't...
But you didn't come to talk. You came to hear me sing, isn't that right? Well, your wish is granted. I'll sing without delay.
Hey, I didn't come to see you.
Oh, you didn't? Why didn't you say so?
Sure, and you didn't give us a chance.
These young people are on a very important mission.
Oh, indeed. And where did you come from?
Just now we came from the Queen of Maybeland.
Oh, dear, dear Melissa. And how is she? Always so kind to me. Melissa is so kind. Lovely girl, don't you think?
She's awful nice, all right. She's going to help us fix our silver star.
What silver star?
Ours. It belongs on top of our Christmas tree. First it got lost.
Lost? Oh, and don't I know how you must feel. Don't I, though? Last spring, I lost my voice.
Congratulations.
What do you mean, congratulations? For days I was petrified. And then my beautiful voice came back, twice as lovely as ever before. However, it's too bad you weren't here to notice the improvement. I'll demonstrate by singing my favorite number. That's why crocodiles were born, in the key of Q.
But we haven't time to listen. Besides, the star isn't lost anymore. We found it, and it got broken into a dozen pieces.
And Melissa gave us some wonderful instructions so we can get it all back together again.
But they aren't to be read except in total darkness.
Oh, most intriguing. May I take a squint?
Of course. They're right here in this envelope.
My, would you mind holding it a little closer? Broke my bifocals last week. Can't see worth anything.
There. You sure ought to be able to see now, Mr. Crocodile.
Ah, much better. Much better. Ha ha!
Hey, don't do that!
Well, I never.
Our magic instructions. He swallowed them.
A pretty kettle of kipper snacks this is, a pretty kettle.
Yeah. What do you mean by chewing up Melissa's important instructions, Snapper Snick?
They were ever so valuable, and now we'll never know what they said, and we'll never be able to find out how our broken star can be mended.
My friends, don't carry on like this.
A fine thing. I do believe you're the crudest crocodile I ever laid eyes on.
And just wait till I lay me cinnamon paws on him. I'll teach him a thing or two.
Splendid. Maybe you could teach me how to sing a low H flat, huh? I've never quite been able to swing it.
Well, if you didn't have such a big nose, I'd twist it. That's what I do.
Oh, dear. Do you suppose if we went back to Melissa, she'd give us some more instructions, Cinnamon Bear?
I'm afraid not, Judy. She'd probably think us very careless and unworthy.
Oh, come, my friends. Why so bleak? Don't be like that. Didn't you say you wanted to read the instructions?
Of course we did, you bad, bad crocodile. But how can we read 'em when you've got 'em inside you?
Didn't Melissa say those magic instructions could only be read in total darkness?
Sure, that's what she said, you big blunt-nosed bully.
But even if we did find some darkness like that, we wouldn't have anything to read in it now.
Aha! Did you ever stop to think that there's nothing more totally dark than the inside of a crocodile?
Goodness gracious me. That's certainly total darkness, all right. But you're not suggesting, my good fellow, that one of us climb in and read them, are you?
You bet he is. It's just a trick, Crazy Quilt. A low, deceiving, crocodilish trick.
Balderdash, my fuzzy friend. I'm simply trying to be of assistance. That's why I grabbed Melissa's instructions and downed them.
But that doesn't help us any. Even if they are in a total darkness now, we can't read 'em.
No, but I can.
Don't be funny, my bathtub baritone. How can you read them when they're snug in your tummy?
Ha-ha! Just a bit of snappersnick service. But perhaps a little explanation is in line, huh? A little light on the subject?
You're daffy, just plain daffy.
Not at all. You see, I can't read a thing with my eyes. Not a word. Mother forgot to send me to school when I was a lad. Consequently, when I want to know something that's in print, the only thing I can do is swallow it, wait till it's digested, and then I know what it says.
You mean you just eat anything that's written, and you know what it is without looking at it?
Exactly. And a voracious reader I was in my day, too. Used to digest 3 or 4 mystery stories a day. Got 'em from a circulating library. But finally they took my card away because I never returned the books.
Oh, my goodness.
You seem to have too literary an appetite, I suppose.
Well, I couldn't return them, you see. Most annoying, too. Why, I haven't read any good books in ages. Have to content myself with old newspapers and magazines.
Then you can read Melissa's instructions.
Absolutely. Read anything I eat. In some ways, an advantage. I eat all my singing lessons, and the music, too. Incidentally, I have quite a repertoire of songs on tap. How would you like to hear me sing On the Road to Maybeland?
If you don't mind, we'd much rather hear you read those instructions.
Yes, please do, Mr. Snappersnick. How long does it take you to digest something so you could read it?
Well, that depends on what it is. Took me all last summer to digest half of Anthony Crocodile. Then I gave it up. Little too much of a meal. But these instructions are nothing. Should be digested by now.
Hurry up and read 'em, Snappersnick. We've got to get going.
Very well. Must close my eyes first so I can concentrate. There. Mm-hmm. Ah. My.
Tell us quick. What do they say?
Most interesting. Quote, Then Christopher Crocodile stared deep into Cynthia Crocodile's blue eyes and then... Oh, pardon me. Got mixed up with the short story I ate out of Crocodile Confessions this morning.
Oh, quit fiddling around and read the instructions, will you?
Right away. Here we are. Quote, The wishing well is where to go to find out what you want to know. Unquote.
Gee, that doesn't say how we can get the Silver Star put back together again.
It just tells us to go someplace. Are you sure you read them right, Mr. Snappersnick?
Positive. Right there in black and black.
If you'll remember, Judy, Melissa said it would take a little extra magic to fix the star. This just means we'll have to go to the wishing well for further instructions.
That's it. Do you know how to get to the wishing well, Snappersnick?
Not exactly. I never venture very far away from my blessed bathtub. But they tell me it's in that direction.
It is? Come on, everybody. Let's get started.
Yes, let's. Thanks so much, Mr. Snappersnake, for reading Melissa's instructions and everything.
Oh, glad to have been of some assistance, and sorry you can't stay to hear me sing a bit. Really remarkable voice, you know. May do a little opera next season.
And thanks again. Thanks again, Snappersnake, and goodbye.
Yes, goodbye, Snappersnake.
So long.
Ah, yes. Goodbye, my friends. Regret I can't walk away with you, but must practice my scales now.
Well, I guess everything has turned out for the best after all.
I guess it has, all right. But my goodness, who'd have thought of reading those instructions in a crocodile's tummy?
I was all ready to bust him one.
It certainly was as close to total darkness as you'd be able to find anywhere.
I wonder what we'll find out at the wishing well.
Which wishing well do you think we're supposed to find? There must be more than one. That's why these are called the wishing woods. I fell into a lemonade wishing well once upon a time, you remember. But I didn't think to make a wish to keep my colors from running.
I suppose we have to wish that the stars put back together again.
Oh, that sounds logical.
Gee, what's that?
Sounds just like a clock. But what would a clock be doing here?
I'm sure I don't know, but we find many strange things in the wishing woods, you know.
It sounds like it came from over there. Let's go round this tree and see where it comes from.
My goodness. It looks like a feather duster, but it's got shoes on.
Yeah, and they look just like those old shoes of Uncle Jed's up in the attic.
Yes.
I know what it is. It's an ostrich. I've seen pictures of him.
Ahoy, friend ostrich. My word, he's got his head stuck in the ground.
Who's there?
Just us, Judy and Jimmy.
Patty Cinnamon and yours truly, Crazy Quilt.
I'll be right out.
What do you suppose he's doing with his head stuck in the ground that way?
Maybe he can tell you, Judy.
Hello, my friends, and what can I do for you today?
Well, we were just wondering.
About that ticking noise.
Oh, that. Just my breakfast, mate. It's a lovely green alarm clock.
Alarm clock?
Yes, indeed. Oh, it was a beauty, all right. Most refreshing.
Jimmy, I remember that ostriches eat awful funny things. Don't let him see the broken star. He might take that away and eat it.
Pardon me, little lady. I couldn't help hearing what you said. Very keen ears, you know. You don't have to worry about my eating anything you may happen to have with you. I'm not like other ostriches. I'm delicate. That's what I am. Delicate. I'm an ostrich as knows what he likes. If you don't think I am, you're mistaken. My favorite dish is divinely delicious. It's scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. Some ostriches go in for dainties, like hot water bottles and socks. They rave about lampshades and doorknobs, but stick up their noses at clocks. I've tried everything in the cookbooks, and of all of the food I've partaken, there's nothing so yummy or good for the tummy as scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. Just follow my simplified diet for peaceful, contented insides. Alarm clocks will stifle your hunger and call you for dinner besides. You can set all the clocks that you eat for the next time you wish to awaken. And when they start clanging, you're up with a bang, and it's scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. Strike me pink, dear scrambled alarm clocks and bacon.
Very good.
That's fine. You certainly are a very unusual bird, Mr. Ostrich.
Holliver's my name, little lady, and you don't have to put an handle to it. Just plain Holliver. But I will admit to the unusual without too much boasting.
Would you mind telling us why you put your head in the ground?
Not at all. Just having had my breakfast, I was indulging in a spot of meditation.
He means he was thinking, Judy.
Oh.
And I always thinks best with me head that way.
Do you know which way it is to the wishing well, Oliver?
Rather. Right in front of your nose it is.
Where?
A bit leftish of where I'm standing now. Do you see it?
Oh, it looks just like an old tree stump.
That may be, young man, but it's the wishing well for all of that. I can't...
What's that?
Strike me, Pink. That's the clock telling me it's time for more scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. I hate to have to dash off like this. No end, sorry. Cheerio.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Mr. Oliver.
Well, I guess it's up to us to look it over anyway. It doesn't look like a well from here now, does it?
It certainly doesn't. But come on.
Gee, I can't see over the top of it at all. Can you, Judy?
No, and I'm standing on my tiptoes, too.
I can see over it. Certainly is dark down there.
Stop taking up all the room, Crazy Quilt. Now, come on, let me look.
Oh, certainly. Want a boost, Patty Cinnamon?
No, I'll just climb up on your shoulder.
Just as you like. Making it all right?
Of course I'm making it all right. There. Well, well. I'm not making a pun, I hope you understand.
Oh, no.
There must be something to show it's a wishing well. A sign or some writing. Awfully dark down there.
What do you see, Cinnamon Bear?
Not a blessed thing, Jimmy. Just a minute. I'll lean over a little farther and... I'm slipping out.
Oh, my goodness.
He's fallen into the wishing well.
Poor Cinnamon Bear. The bottom of a deep, dark wishing well is certainly a terrible place to be. And while we're on the subject of wishing wells, I wish I knew how the Cinnamon Bear is going to get out. But it looks like we'll have to wait till next time for that. And believe me, I'll be right here to meet you.